We don't own clothes. Clothes own us. This line from the 2013 anime Kill la Kill echoes a classic Daoist teaching, 物物而不物于物. That means using things, but don't be used by them. We often understand this idea logically, but we find it very hard to escape from it in practice. In this video, I want to explain how Daoism looks at this problem and what kind of solution it offers. If we really take it to heart, we can gain a kind of inner freedom. Daoism is all about following the natural way, living in line with the patterns of life itself. What Daoism rejects is forcing things unnaturally. In Chinese, this is called 人为. It refers to anything that is forced, over-engineered, or goes against the natural order. This doesn't mean we should run back to the forest. It means we should go with the flow of things. A manager who micromanages everything, he tries to control every detail, wears himself out, and leaves his team discouraged. This is 人为. Too much interference, too much forcing. Employees have their own responsibilities, and the managers have theirs. The role of a manager is to coordinate and plan, not to interfere every single task. When a manager blocks the natural way employees do their work, efficiency only drops. Let's come back to the phrase, using things, but don't be used by them. An obvious modern example is our relationship with smartphones. The phone was originally designed to help us communicate. That flows with the natural way of using smartphones. But as more entertainment got added, the phone started to dominate our attention. Endless short videos and games trigger dopamine, and before we know it, we are enslaved by the phone. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can also use our phones, like we are doing right now, to learn new ideas and expand our minds. That's using things without being used by them. Now, let's look at a more complex case, the rise of superfoods. At first, nutritionists encouraged people to eat more healthy food, and that makes sense. But then the media and the market blew it up into a trade, and soon it created a new kind of anxiety. If you don't eat superfoods, you are not really healthy. Well, health should be simple, but now it's becoming artificially complicated. Kale, for example, has about the same nutrition as other leafy greens, but it was marketed as the very symbol of healthy eating. Daoism doesn't oppose healthy eating. What it reminds us is this: go back to the essence. See things as they really are, not as they are packaged to look. That's the way to tell what is natural and what is forced. Some might say, but in business, we need to add concepts and creative complicated to make profit. Not necessarily. Take the Japanese brand MUJI as an example. The cup is simply a container for drinking. An umbrella is simply for keeping out of the rain. MUJI stripped away the flashy logos and unnecessary packaging. They used simple materials, reasonable prices, and lived by the idea of no brand, quality goods. And today, their stores are all over the world. This is a case of success by not adding unnecessarily layers. It shows that doing less, simplifying, can also create value. Daoism reminds us to do the opposite, to return to the essence. And This happens to line up with Elon Musk's idea of first principles. It's about breaking a problem down to its most basic truths and then rebuilding from there. Why are the rockets expensive? If we go beyond the common assumed function, the raw materials are really cheap. What's really expensive is the processing in between. That's actually very close to the Daoist spirit, cutting through the artificial and go back to what is real. So whether we call it Daoist teaching or Elon Musk's first principle thinking, the lesson is the same. Don't let yourself be ruled by things. See the essence, return to what is natural. I'm Little Bamboo Yayue. I want to share these ideas with you in my own voice. If you'd like to hear more about Chinese philosophy, subscribe and stay connected. See you next time.